I said earlier, I spoke to Clive Palmer. I'll play that interview later, the miner. He says that nothing will change with the mining tax under Julia Gillard. He says Wayne Swan, one of the engineers of it's in fact been promoted. I hope to play that later. Julia Gillard has a press conference at 10 o'clock. I'd like that to be put to her. On the line, though, is the opposition leader, Tony Abbott. Good morning.
Morning, Neil.
She'll be harder to beat than Kevin Rudd, won't she?
I think there'll be a bit of razzle-dazzle for a few days. There always is some excitement when there's a new Prime Minister. But I think the public will figure out that in the end it's good government that counts. And what's she going to change? What can she change? I think that the mining tax is a very important test for her. And as long as she's got the $12 billion that the mining tax in its current form is expected to raise in the budget, there can't be meaningful negotiations because if it's got to raise $12 billion, it's going to be retrospective, it's going to be at a high rate, and it's going to destroy our competitiveness.
Okay, but do you agree that her gender is going to be a big benefit, at least for the honeymoon period?
I think, all of us inevitably are a bit excited about the first female Prime Minister. I'm the father of 3 daughters. Of course I'm excited about the fact that this proves that no job is barred to anyone. But we always knew that Australia was that way. And I think in the end, whether you're male or female, what you want, Neil, is good government. And that's the test. Can she fix the mining tax? Can she stop the boats? Is she going to end the rip-offs in her own school hall program?
Are you ready for an early election?
Yes, we are.
Do you believe she will go early?
I think if there is a honeymoon, she will certainly rush to the polls because the power brokers who so brutally installed her did so because they want to give the public the impression that something has changed. Nothing really has changed. They've changed the salesman, they haven't changed the product. And it's a dud product, but they're hoping that this makeover will mask that.
So what do you think, an August election, August, September?
Well, again, I'm not going to speculate other than to say that this was a ruthless political assassination with one object in mind.
Yeah, but you all do that.
Well,
what happened to Malcolm Turnbull?
Yeah, and that was about policy. It was about policy. That
wasn't about opinion polls.
No, it was about policy. I mean, the trouble was that Malcolm, with full honour and intellectual integrity, wanted to take the party one way, and others, including myself, wanted to take it a different way. Okay.
Will you find it more difficult to belt up a woman?
Well, I don't belt up anyone.
Oh, you do. You know what I mean.
I'll have a good argument, but again, I think we've moved past the era, Neil, where people got treated dramatically differently because of their gender. I think we've just moved past that.
So you won't treat her differently in any way? You won't...
But Neil, a female radio host would expect to be treated exactly the same as a male radio host, would have the same robust discussions with people, would be judged by the same standards.
Oh, yes, but a gentleman like yourself would surely find it hard to be particularly abusive to a female politician, wouldn't you?
Well, but I'm not abusive to anyone.
Ever?
I mean, okay. I'm not abusive to anyone.
Aggressive, then?
Well, again, I engage robustly with people. Always have, always will.
So you won't change your tactics?
Well, I'm focused on policy. I'm focused on delivery of program, and the problem, Neil, is that if you look over Julia Gillard's record as a minister, she's turned out to be very good at executing a Prime Minister, but she's not very good at executing her own policy.
Yeah, but the pair of you have been flirting with each other on television, as you well have agreed in the past. You've been sort of having a bit of a game and flirting with each other. Do you change tactics now, or do you continue to flirt?
Well, I'll continue to be myself, Neil. But my job is to expose the flaws in the government's policy and the flaws in the government's program delivery. My job is to show the public that the government is taking the country in the wrong direction, and I'll keep doing that. So, I've also got the job of being a credible alternative, and I'll keep doing that too.
So where's her glass jaw? Where do you lay a glove on her?
Well, I think the problem she's got is that she was on a unity ticket with Kevin Rudd for 3 years. She was by his side in the Gang of Four, which made all the big decisions. And now she's got to somehow pretend that she wasn't really there. She's got to, in a sense, airbrush herself out of all those photos looking adoringly into Kevin's eyes on building sites and say, no, it was all his fault. And I just don't think she can. And as I said, I think there are 3 tests for her. Can she stop the boats? Will she stop the rip-off in the school halls program? And can she fix the mining tax? And the only way to fix that is to drop it. But
okay, well, I was talking to
things.
Clive Palmer earlier from London. I'm about to play the interview with him I pre-recorded. And he says in that interview, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Wayne Swan's the architect, and he's been promoted. He doesn't think this achieves anything.
And look, I don't always agree with Clive, but certainly I think that's a shrewd observation he's made. I mean, Wayne Swan was the guy who was previously negotiating with the miners, and he gave them nothing except abuse. I mean, Wayne was the bloke who said that the mining leaders were ignorant liars for questioning the government's proposal, and now he's supposed to negotiate some kind of a different deal. Well, he can't do it.
Julia Gillard a more decent person than Kevin Rudd?
She's a very tough politician, which is what you'd expect, and plainly she has allied herself with the faceless men of the factions. Look, I'll let the public make their own judgment. I don't want to get into commentary on personalities.
Fair enough too. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you so much, Neil.
Tony Abbott, the opposition leader. A quick break and then we'll hear from the mining industry, which is a key part of what Julia Gillard has to sort out.